Hello, everyone. My name is Sunny Chung. Welcome to the Sunny Chung podcast, the space where I discuss business, legacy, and authentic conversation come together. I'm your host again, Sunny. I try to keep this podcast less than 30 minutes or so. Today, I have a very special guest on our show today. Is Dr. Sam Suzuki. Sam is the CEO and founder of SIRE Group with over 40 years of experience in real estate financing and development. And he also is the chairman of ARIA Asian American Real Estate Association. And is it is my honor to have Sam on this show today. The subject today is that we're going to discuss about 3D printing construction, which is the next future of development and construction. Sam, it's a pleasure to have you on here. And if you could to give about 30 seconds, a brief overview of who you are, so our audience have a better understanding what you do and what your profession is.
Thank you, Sonny. Brief description is, hi, my name is Dr. Suzuki. I'm a real estate developer, financer, and 3D printing manufacturer. We are based in California, but I'm based in Dallas, and I've been doing 3D printing research and study since 2018.
Thank you for that introduction, Sam. Instead of call you Dr. Suzuki, so just say your first name, make it easier for our conversation. Why? So, Sam,
Sure.
let's start your journey. When you've been doing the real estate for over 40 years, and now you are the pioneer of 3D printing construction. Looking back, what what were some of the previous moments that shaped your career path?
Toward 3D printing?
Yes.
So in 2018, I moved to Cambodia to look for opportunities to do real estate development. And I went there because a friend of mine invited me, who was also an ARIA member, Hawaii chapter. He invited me to go to Cambodia and see one of his projects. So he built a school there uh, for children from the age of 5 to 13. So basically up to intermediate school. When I got there and I visited, it was amazing what kind of work he did. There's about 100 students. Now, what I didn't know was that there was a group of girls there, about maybe 10 of them. And I spoke to the teacher and I go, oh, where are they going to go to high school? And she literally told me, said that they're not going to go to high school. And I go, what? And she said that, see those 10 girls? I said, yes. Three of them will be sent to the palm fields. Three will go to the garment factory. And three will be sold at the brothels. Maybe one will go to high school, continue with education. And I was just really sad. And I asked why. I said, well, the main thing is we're in a very, very poor village. 14 villages surround the school, and they're very poor. And they said that the main thing the families are concerned is putting food on the table. And then the second part is to have shelter. So I thought to myself and said, I've been in real estate for so long, 40 years, less than that, 38 years at the time, and said, I know real estate. I can somehow try to figure out how to build homes there at a very low rent. I
Mm.
started doing my research, and my research stumbled on 3D printing. So I went to the government to get permission to build affordable housing, and I got found the land. I was going to order the printers. I had a sponsor, and then COVID hit, and I was kicked out of the country. So I didn't want to waste my time. I went back to New York City, and it was a ghost town. And I got really scared that the how long will this COVID thing last? So I went back to school to get my doctorate, specializing 3D printing, and that's how I got into 3D printing.
During COVID time, I think it's hard for everybody, but I really admire you use that time to actually learn a new skill. Not a lot of people actually doing that kind of stuff. That lead me to I want to ask you along that journey, what's daily habits or routines have been the most important to keep you sharp and success overcome those obstacles that you have during that time?
Well, I believe in the seven Japanese principle. I'm Japanese, and one of them is kaizen. It's the last one actually. Kaizen means to invest in yourself, and I believe in investing in myself. So that's how it happened.
Kaizen. Can you share a little bit more about Japanese philosophy that you understand? Because I think Japanese philosophy, the way of life, is very interesting. Besides Kaizen, what else that resonate with you the most?
Another one is don't try to be perfect. Being imperfect is more of an art than being perfect. And that's one of the other philosophies. The other philosophies is um, what you call ikigai. Ikigai means have
Yes.
purpose,
Mm.
and we strive to have a purpose in life. Why we put on the planet. So my ikigai is to build affordable housing with using 3D printers. And can we just pause for a second? I got a phone call. One
Yes,
second.
not a
Sure.
problem. So while we waiting for Sam to come back, I think now to the segment of me just sharing with you is my whole goal is try to share a little bit Japanese culture in this podcast, and Ikigai is a great way to live by. I've been following it, and it's a way of life. And also, you don't have to be perfect, and you can live in your imperfectness. Right? That's how we define as a human being. So I hope this show will bring some value to you and also something that you can look into for your personal growth as we continue conversation with Sam regarding about 3D printing. I think it'll be an amazing way to share with you what the future going to look like in construction side and how this going to implement the whole globally um, with this new technology. Well, thank you for coming back, Sam. So we were talking about you are mute right now. Okay, perfect. So yeah, I would just share with audience about a little bit of Japanese culture, and I think it's great how that mindset applied to Japanese culture as a whole is very admiring to me. Let's go back to 3D printing. At what point did 3D printing capture your attention besides you go to Cambodia and do this? What do you decide to focus on this niche instead of traditional development?
So when I was going for my PhD, my doctorate degree, um, I started reading papers on 3D printing, and I stumbled on one paper uh, where the godfather of 3D printing, Dr. Barak Nevis, I read his paper on his technology. Mainly, he was doing 3D printing for the military, for the Marines and Navy, DoD, and I reached out to him, and he asked me about what I was studying, and he said, "What I was studying, nobody's doing it. It was the implementation of 3D printing, not the engineering. There was a lot of engineers getting their PhDs on additive materials and automated manufacturing. I focused my doctorate on 3D printing, implementing it on real estate development and finance. And
Mhm.
he found that very intriguing that because of my finance background, because of my development background, and he took me in as a mentee, and I was very happy he took me in because I'm talking to the inventor of 3D printing, and I became a mentee of his. So there are a lot of 3D printing guys up there that are mentees of Dr. Carstnevis, and I'm one of them.
I
And
have
that gave
have
my
you
credibility.
give credit where credit due and find a good mentee. Actually, sorry, find a good mentor nowadays is pretty hard. Everybody want to be a teacher, right? But the value you bring to a table that actually to pass down to the next generation is more better than just, hey, I have this, do this, and I get paid for it, right? Um,
Correct. Correct.
so on with your background on financing and also development, when when this project take place, how does lender react to this new respond to this new construction? Do they hesitate to actually finance this kind of project, or they get used to traditional way to doing things and this 3D printing that they don't know about? So can you share a little bit about this?
Yes. So in the financing side of 3D printing, the main concern is the proof of concepts. So you can't start out with big projects because the proof of concepts is very difficult to get the financing because of they want to see uh, actual built buildings and get data from it. But it is slowly being recognized by financiers, mainly the private financiers now. But eventually, it will be HUD will be financing it. They are asking for papers. They have been doing research. There are a couple of papers that came out last year uh, that was sent out by HUD to do investigation on the 3D printing, but that was mainly for houses. It wasn't made for multifamily. I'm on the commercial side of 3D printing, not really a house builder, more of a multifamily builder and data centers and strip centers. That's what we're using the 3D printers for.
I see. Just it is. I guess with the 3D printing, the shortening the time. I saw a group named Icon Housing. They really good at building affordable housing using 3D technology, printing tech to do this. Have you heard of them before?
Yeah, actually, it's my friends. They are friends of mine. So Icon is not just affordable housing, but they're doing market rate housing, and amazing how fast they were able to build the project in Georgetown, Texas. The project was 100 houses, middle level houses, very nice, and they built it with Lennar, 9 times faster than a traditional build.
Wow.
uh, what's amazing facts about their project is that we all expected millennials and Gen Zs to be the buyers of the houses. It actually turned out different. It turned out to be retirees bought the house. The, the, the fact of the matter is that the houses that they built were 30% more efficient with the electricity. So your electricity bill went down by 30%. The other thing was that homeowners insurance dropped down by 50%. So the seniors want have their monthly expenses lower because their monthly income is fixed. And it turned out that most of the buyers of the homes at the Georgetown were seniors, and that's the main reason why it dropped down the expenses. They also liked the design, but it was also the efficiency of the house, and that's a big one. That's a really big one because you right now you can't get insurance in L.A. Where the
Hmm.
houses were burnt. You can't. A lot of the insurance companies pulled out of California because
I
they won't insure wooden frame houses. So what's the alternative? 3D printed homes, because you can get insurance. Insurance companies will insure 3D printed homes.
Is that because of the hazard, the fire hazard, or there's a lot of uh, construction materials out there that actually prevent fire, like um,
But 3D printers are hurricane proof. They
hurricane
are
proof.
fireproof. They are tornado proof. They are earthquake resistant, and they are also flood resistant. That's the main reason why. And the material that you can add into the cement, which is the ink of the printer or mortar or geopolymer, you can add that in, and that material is the material that is fireproof. Is you can even make a building bulletproof by adding Kevlar in there. If you add Kevlar sheets in there, you can make the building bulletproof. So there's a lot more um, flexibility with 3D printing. I don't have to just build a square. I can build circles. I can build triangles. 3D printing, as long as you can design it in a 3D printed software, that can be printed. It's way different. I can print a face and a wall, which you can't do. Those are the things that you can do with a 3D printer, which going to change the way design and architects, the new architects coming out are going to be much more creative because they have more flexibility with their designs.
Hmm. Well, that lead me to a question. So look into 10 to 20 years ahead. How do you see 3D printing reshape the real estate and construction industry as a whole?
What I've seen in the next 10 to 20 years is that you're going to see an abundance of 3D printers reshape war-torn countries such as Gaza, Ukraine, uh, countries in countries in Africa are going to be rebuilt using 3D printers. The reason why is that there is so many affordable housing units needed. We're talking about in the millions. There is no way we can do that in 10 to 20 years. But with 3D printed, you can put a big dent in it because 3D printing is 9 times faster than traditional construction. And because it's 9 times faster, you will be able to build more units with 3D printers. The other thing is that we have a big labor shortage in the United States for skilled labor in construction. It's not getting
Mhm.
better, it's getting worse. And with 3D printing, I only need 2 to 3 people to build a structure. The rest, I do need electricians, plumbers, and roofers to finish the building. But to build the actual structure and the interior walls, I only need 3 people. What's another shocking thing about 3D printing is that when I went to a construction site, I went to see a project, Habitat for Humanity. They're now building their projects with 3D printers.
Oh, wow.
I used to go to the projects and I would see 95% of the workforce was men. When I went to the Habitat Humanity project, where they were building 2 houses with 3D printer, 50% of the workforce was women. That blew me away. The
Mm.
women were running the printers, and you don't need hard physical labor to run the printers. You run it from a laptop. They were literally sitting in lawn chairs running the printer, and then watching the print, making sure it didn't go off calibration. And that was amazing to me
That
because
is amazing. That is
that's
amazing.
amazing because it opens up the workforce now for women and for disabled because you don't have to move. You just have to sit down and run the laptop. So that means there's now for disabled veterans, for example, there's now a job market for them. That we have a job market for them with the 3D prints. That's what we're going to see in the next 10 to 20 years is that construction companies are going to have a bigger labor pool and they're not going to be forced to keep raising their construction prices because they can't afford the labor. They just have to pay more to. This will be the correction.
I see there's so many opportunity for 3D printing and for the next generation, 10 to 20 year, but also the downside of it that because we have a short of skilled labor, but later on, I think with this new technology able to replace majority more of it. But that we can say for another conversation about the
Oh
employment.
no, I disagree because we're going to have more printers. The more
Mhm.
printers you have there, what you're just doing is switching jobs that are already being lost. You're switching them now to a different kind of skilled labor, and that skilled labor is 3D printing. Because remember what I said, there's a shortage of affordable housing, 6 million units just in the United States. Well, we don't have enough people to build 6 million units.
Yep.
That's why I said it's opposite. It actually will open the doors to build the 6 million units, but you need a lot of people. You know, need a lot of printers.
So
It'll
you,
change. It'll
it's
reverse.
enhanced.
Yeah.
It is enhanced.
Yeah.
Um, That's something I think that's help support with man and machine combined together. So actually, technology don't replace employment; it actually help the employment.
Well,
I think
everyone
it's
thought
great.
the internet was going to replace people, right?
Yep,
And
yep.
what happened? It created a big job boom.
That's
So,
true. That's true. Well, Sam, with respect to your time, I have one final question
okay.
to our audience and the advice for the next generation, right? At the finally, for the younger professional who out there listen to this podcast, who want to innovate in traditional industry like real estate, what's your best piece of advice for them?
For the young real estate professionals, uh, and this is just an old school saying: the more you learn, the more you earn. We all know that when we got into the real estate business, you were nothing because you had no knowledge, and no investor is going to trust you with their hard-earned money unless they feel confident that you know what you're doing, you have the knowledge base to do it. So what we do as professionals is constantly learning. Kaizen, we invest in ourselves. We go to school, we do all these other things that we need to do. And I think that we got to instill in the young guys coming in, the young professionals, that there's no shortcut. You really got to
No short.
educate yourself. There is no shortcut.
Well, Sam, I like this. One more question I want to ask you is my closing
Sure.
question, and I ask all my guests on this thing on it. Let's say today's your last day, right? Whatever you know about 3D printing, all your resources, all your knowledge, you can take them with you. However, you can leave three things on this world that we live in that you can pass on for your friend, your family, or the next generation of people on the street, on a stranger. What those three important things you would like to leave behind, not your legacy for the next generation, for the human being? What would that three things would be?
Interesting. Well, one would be definitely knowledge. I'm an academic. I was a professor. I'm teaching at two universities, so education is very important to me. I like spreading what's in my head through academics. So that would be very important to me. The second thing is to be able to plant a seed in people to study study by basing it on how we can help humanity. That was the main reason. I didn't go into 3D printing for the money. I went into it because I thought I could solve a problem. So that's what I was told by my mentors. If you can solve a problem, focus on it, because few people can do that. I think I'm one of the few that has the ability to do it because of my world of experience. That would be two. And I think three, I would be, as in legacy, I would like my the children to carry on my dream as legacy. I would like them to learn more about this technology um, and be able to contribute to society. So that would probably be my three.
Well, thank you, Sam, for your time today. It's been a privilege and honor for you to share your story and 3D printing technology as well. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Sonny. See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.